Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Masks Monday. Apologies for being a bit later than usual. I went to see family with Becky, and that's why it's taken this long to kind of log back on. But anyway, we have one person without a camera today, but they are definitely still here. Hopefully, in mind as well as physicality. But let's go round and just remind ourselves of what the characters are, etc. Let's start off with Perry. Astor. I always get this wrong. God damn.
Yeah, through
Perry.
that, point in the wrong direction. Perry Astor, a Canadian explorer and outdoorsman. Yes, he's new to the group, but is here really to protect the group and see them on the way.
Okay. And Francoise.
Oh, hello. I am a photographer. What more do you want to know? I don't know. I am me. What are you expecting?
Hello, Steve. Okay. And Winston?
Yes, I am Winston. I'm the intellectual of the group. I'm also the one with the money. Yeah, this could be make or break today.
We shall see. And last but by no means least, Dr. Dibden.
Yes, I'm your friendly neighborhood medic/surgeon who apparently can get a hold of the damage he withheld in America because he's still hurt. He's still miserable. And I believe my character has had a little bit too much of this shit. You know, seeing strange monsters just laying in the garden, enjoying sunbathing and shit. That's way too much. Way too much.
Quite possibly, but Mademoiselle Pelletier, could you give us a little summary of last week's session, please?
Certainly. Winston read some books. I made a phone call. The others broke into our house. Then we went out clubbing.
I mean, I knew it was going to be short, but maybe not that short.
Oh, sorry. You said a little summary. That was as little as I could go. I have also an hour-long speech prepared. Which would you like?
Maybe not an hour long. Oh, God damn it.
I can.
Assez de. Assez de.
I don't know what that means, but I think I know what you want.
It means quite a middle ground.
Yes, well, I don't actually speak French, so fuck you. So, I made a phone call. It was to a journalist. His name, I forget. It's not important. Mickey
It's
something.
Mickey Mahoney. You've already met him.
I don't care. Anyway, I asked him about Monsieur Gaviscon, and he is a...
Jesus Christ.
What? What have I done now?
Gavigan.
Not Gaviscon.
Same difference. Anyway, turns out he is a somewhat private man, but not a recluse. Just private. And he likes to walk to work. That is all he knew. Useless, really. Anyway, he says he will do some digging, because I said there may be a story in it. I hung some nuggets up so that he would go chasing. Anyway, that was that. Winston spent a lot of time in the various libraries of London. So far, this has yielded absolutely no result at all. But he did prepare a presentation, I hope, for us to meet Mr. Gaviscon. And so apparently that will be a great success when he introduces me as his translator of ancient Egyptian, which I have never spoken or know about. Apparently they use those pictures. Thankfully he is muted. I hope he stays that way. So apparently they use pictures to draw. So that is all I know of Egyptian. So that is going to be a disaster. Anyway, meanwhile, Perry and Astor, they went back to the Shipley house in Chelsea. And there was a lizard there, like a crocodile, but seemingly not a crocodile, something worse and darker and perhaps brain-meltingly with lots of teeth sort of thing. You know the sort. It's Cthulhu. Anyway, they broke into the house and they broke out the artist Shipley. And they have taken him to a hospital where I met them with shotguns. And that turned out not to be a very good idea because the nurses, they do not like shotguns for some reason. It is like they've never treated a farmer in central London before. Madness. Anyway, after that, we decided to meet the policeman that we finally got around to talking to. And the policeman, he said, we asked him about the Egyptian murders, but he didn't know who we were, and we didn't particularly want to tell him lots of stuff about what was going on. So I made up some shit, and we got away with it. We got a little bit of information and a lead to a club, the Blue Pyramid, I don't know, something like that. Anyway, lots of Egyptians.
The Blue Pyramid Club, maybe?
It could be that, maybe. Who knows? It is a mystery after all. It is Cthulhu. Anyway, we go there. We go there, and there were lots of Egyptian clientele. They were all hanging around together with around a table with this one woman. So it is most likely from that premise that they are all in some cult, and she is the high priestess. But I met one of the Egyptians at the bar and befriended him, and he took me to the table, and I got talking to her, and it was clear from that either she was not a cultist high priestess at all, and actually just an Egyptian who happened to have heard stories of the Black Pharaoh and everything we are investigating. So I thought, here is an opportunity. Her mother told her all these stories. Let us find out everything her mother told her. So I started imparting hypotheticals, like if there was, let us say, a crocodile in Chelsea, how would you deal with it? Things like these, just to see if there were any like old wives' tales, so you say. So, turns out what we need is kittens. Wasn't the most useful conversation, I suppose, but if she is a high priestess, my days will now be surely numbered. And if not, anyway, I decided that because she could be a high priestess and therefore I could be killed soon because I told her too much stuff, I have decided I will always keep her dangling for more. So this will keep me alive until we can find out what side of whichever divide she is on. So I will go back with the picture of the Black Pharaoh, see if I can use it to extract more information from her. And if not, I will promise her something else. And then sometime later I will turn up with that. I have two of Shipley's paintings after all. That is the next thing I will withhold and promise. And you never know, it might well keep me alive, or it might get me killed. In any case, Brandon shouting at the screen, screw you, I have planned. I'm ahead of you. Braden, it doesn't matter. Begins with B, that'll do.
Okay, get your D4 of luck. But yes, that was one of my first questions, actually, about when you're going to be seeing. Is it a one?
I have a proposition, Jason. I would just give Becky the max 4 because this summary was majestic. Just a max 4, please.
Okay, if everyone agrees, because you have like hardly any luck, so
that is true.
Okay.
I rolled shit, so thank you.
Thank you very much,
luck.
Becky.
Yes, I do have a question about when you want to go and see Zahra, whether that's during the meeting that the others have or not. But whilst you're thinking about that, let me quickly double check sanity, etc. So, Arthur, you're on 81 sanity and 26 luck.
Yes, I do believe that I started at 81 before I lost the 4 because of the lizard, just crocodile thingy. Okay. So I should be at 77, but I'd like to confirm it to you next week.
Lovely. And Francoise, you're on incredible 92 sanity and 15 luck at this moment.
I have myself showing as 94 sanity. Did I fuck up somewhere? I don't mind going to 92. It is still exceptional. Apparently, I have my head on my shoulders.
I just want to now say that, Francoise, you can now relax. You are no longer the person with the least luck in the party.
I have 15 luck.
Yeah, I have one less.
I will adjust to myself to 92 sanity, because I think we did in the past anyway accidentally gain an extra one on me or something, so it is all fine. It's an approximation anyway. Anyone who can clinically measure a person's sanity is the insane one.
Perry, you're still on your 65 sanity and have 49 luck, I believe.
I've got myself down as 67 sanity and 38 luck.
Yeah, because I do believe that you spent some luck on a dodge, on a stealth.
Definitely did.
Yeah.
Definitely was not keeping track then, apparently. And then Winston, I've got 76 sanity with
78.
your bonus day. 78 sanity. Okay. Oh, yes, that's right, because you got your +2. That's right.
Got +2.
I remember.
Yes, so does that mean I am on 94? I will put myself back
Yes,
on?
It would do
yes,
that.
Okay.
yes, it would. You're absolutely right.
And I'm on 14
And
luck.
14 luck, yeah, got that. Coolly.
And I still have my bonus die, which I keep forgetting about, which I wish I'd used last week rather than spending that load of luck.
I literally thought you were saving it for Gavigan's meeting, but
Well, it might come down to that. I think with regards to Gavigan's meeting,
If you forget at the meeting, I'm gonna get nasty.
that's all right. That's all right.
Just you know that.
Oh,
It's
I missed
okay.
something very important from the recap, by the way. It is
Important.
still important. It turns out that the reason my French accent is shit is because I have barely lived in France, and so I have managed to, via awesome role-playing means, demonstrated why my accent is so shit, so you can stop giving me crap over it.
This is what happens. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what happens when a person's knowledge of the French language comes from watching Allo Allo and the Pink Panther films.
Stop calling at me.
okay. So we are coming into Thursday morning, the 19th of February, 1925. And you have indeed got the impending meeting with
Yes.
Mr. Gavigan.
Yes,
at 10:30.
that I think one of us will not be attending.
Why is this?
Because whilst I can definitely prove that Arthur Dibden has medical training and that Perry does have sort of outdoors sort of knowledge and so on. As you've rightly pointed out, we can't bluff your knowledge of Egyptian.
So why the fuck did you tell them I can speak Egyptian?
Yeah,
It will make it much harder to get an
I-
Egyptian translator from them.
It's the same as why I told him our real names.
Imbecile.
you had days to learn it, but you couldn't be bothered, obviously. So
Still, I do believe that we should separate again, because if we want to track Gavigan outside of the foundation, just one of us, I believe it's not enough.
I would go along with that, actually.
he's already. Oh no, he hasn't seen me, has he? Good.
I mean, no, none of you have seen him face to face, no. But given that you did give a few names at least to his assistant, Mr. Kinnery, it's possible that he could have referred those on to him.
Yes.
But in terms of face, no, absolutely not. So, yeah, my question is, logistically speaking, what are you planning to do for the meeting? But also, in terms of Francois' plan to meet up with Zahra Shafik, if that's happening either during the meeting or after.
What is the point of that? She'll be at work, so she'll be in the bloody meeting.
I'm just asking.
Imbecile.
Just
So,
Giorgio.
who am I working with?
Not the keeper, apparently.
All right. So are we all going to the foundation then?
But we can't let Francoise in there. That's entirely my fault. But
Did you say Francois' name when you were at the last meeting?
He said Dr. Pelletier,
yes,
but not
I
her
could-
first name.
I suppose we could get away with
You can't get away with saying.
compounding the lie with another one. It's getting quite.
I can say Francois is the photographer and Dr. Pelletier is her father or something, or uncle or brother. He couldn't come.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
Why would I go into this meeting now anyway when it is clear it is going to be a fuck up?
Listen,
Thank you.
We
We
do
have-
not know if this is the lion's den or not. And there you are, spouting off nonsense. And are you confident in your expedition plan that you've put together in an afternoon?
Yes. He says
Well-
with utter confidence.
Yeah, it's better than I previously thought it would be.
The problem I have with that is that it has come from the man who thinks I can speak ancient Egyptian.
It'll be
No,
fun.
no, it came from the man who told someone else you could speak ancient Egyptian. I never actually believed a word of it. You're barely able to speak English.
Would you like a bonus die, Francoise?
Okay. Oh, I already had one.
I took yours off, so
No, I got it back for something, I think.
okay.
Do I have two, or is it limited to one?
No, not stacked. I don't want to do that.
Okay. Then
No,
I
I've tried.
have a bonus die.
I've tried that. I've tried that. Jason won't let us. Shame.
Not yet, anyway. We'll see.
I want several dozen flipping bonus die stacked,
know.
ready.
I
He'll
know.
never use them, it's fine.
I'll keep
I'm a
having to remind you
hoarder.
that you've got it.
Sue me.
No, instead, I will find something useful to do with my time. You'll have to forgive me whilst it takes me a moment to think of something useful after you've closed all the doors for me. It is a shame you won't have anyone competent there to pick up the pieces of the crush that you have made.
Well, there is, of course, the possibility of either
Michael
going in
Success, yes.
as a different persona or something, or
A
watching.
different Pelletier, because of course it is such a common name.
But also, you are waiting back on a call from Mr. Mahoney, who may have found something.
Indeed.
Incredible.
He might have. It would be really useful to have that before we go to the meeting, but no. I will wait in for it whilst you go off to the meeting that the information will be useful for.
And in fact, whilst you're discussing that, you do get a phone call directed to you by a concierge, which is indeed Mr. Mahoney.
Hello.
Bonjour, mademoiselle. I've not found a lot, but there is the possibility that you could maybe find something else. Essentially, I've found a little rumor for you. I couldn't find any articles at all about Mr. Gavigan, but I did find that he was essentially almost shot by somebody in the Blue Pyramid Club. He was arrested, this person. I don't know if he's still behind bars or maybe even in an asylum, possibly, for what he did. But that's the only thing I could find on him, I'm afraid.
That is interesting. He is English, is he not?
Who, Mr. Gavigan?
Yes.
Yes, I it sounds from my perspective, it sounds like his name is Irish. You know, Gavigan is an Irish name, but he's definitely an English person. Yes.
Okay, so not Egyptian. It's good to know.
Oh, jeez, no, no.
Well, in the Blue Pyramid Club, it's a lot of Egyptian clientele, but of course he has a fascination with Egypt, so that explains why he may have been there.
Oh, I don't really know what the Blue Pyramid Club is. I've never been myself.
No, I have visited it. It is just the usual pompous shit that you get in this country.
Fair. I won't bother then.
Yes. Interesting. But thank you very much for that little morsel. And did the shot hit him or did it miss?
Apparently, from what I've heard, no. It was just an attempted shot, but it was definitely aimed at Gavigan, which makes me think that the person who did it knew who he was. Maybe had a
Right.
motive.
And did this happen recently or was it a long time ago?
Not very recently, no. Maybe sort of 12 months ago, something like that.
Interesting. But thank you very much.
I'll keep trying to find something.
Au
but
revoir.
I hope that's helped. Yes, au revoir.
I put the phone down again, but that was fucking useless. If it had been it, they could have said about it. And no, it was just a random shooting and the guy missed. Useless
But
Max.
it is London.
I'm not sure there's anything like a random shooting and all of this. I think that's just another piece of this puzzle. We just don't know where that piece fits in yet.
Well, of course not.
Well, if I'm coming at the meeting with Gavigan, we may check if maybe he walks or sits in an uncomfortable way, and then just ask about that. Oh, you're walking funny. What happened? What kind of trauma did you have? And then if he starts talking about the shooting, we can maybe...
Well, he won't because the shot missed. But what is it?
Shot missed. I didn't hear that. I'm
yes,
sorry.
the person did not hit him. So probably a mad person. So maybe someone who has read Winston's books.
I love how you come to that conclusion.
It's all out attack tonight.
Oh dear.
Right out there. Stevie's right. Francoise started angry and just gotten angrier.
Oh dear.
It's all down.
You know, I'm 6'1.5". I think I've actually just sized myself and I've gone to 5'8" and shrinking.
It may help connect some dots later, perhaps when we know some more. But at the moment, it is not something I would suggest is useful to you in asking about it. Because if you
maybe your
revealed
new friend knows about it.
If you revealed that you knew much about it, then you would basically have declared that you have investigated him.
Yeah. Yep. No, we can't take the risk. Not until we know.
Still, Francoise, maybe your friend knows about it.
Well, if I could get into the building, I could talk to her.
How long ago was Jackson in London again? Was it only a month?
It was definitely just before he went to America, so it was sort of November, maybe October as well, but you don't know.
Well, since we don't have anything much left to discuss, I do believe that off to the meeting we go. Or
after the meeting you go. After the meeting you go.
Follow the road.
Thank you. I'm glad you got the reference. Yes. So, are you all going to the meeting or what?
Of course not.
Okay. So
I
you're
have been
sticking
shattered
out.
by incompetence.
Okay. Are you wanting to do anything during the time that they're at the meeting, or are you going to wait with bated breath as to what happens?
I'm going to be angry.
You're going to be angry. Okay.
I haven't decided. I might come up with something, but for the moment, I wish to pace up and down.
Okay.
Do you want to be angry in company, or do you do it better alone?
Do you think it is safe to ask the question?
All right, I'm coming with you guys.
That sounds like a good plan.
No, that's absolutely fine. Okay. Cool. So, it approaches 10:30 as you arrive at the Penhew Foundation once again. And presumably you go to the front desk, ask for Mr. Kinnery, who did say that he would kind of escort you and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We'll point the portrait out to Arthur as well on the way through the lobby.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. No problemo.
I'm
The administrator. Oh, go on. Sorry.
No, I whisper to Winston and Perry that I'm just there to look, since I don't know anything about the Winston researches or what they told specifically to Gavigan in the previous meeting. I'll just be there to watch and listen.
That's fair. So, yeah, the administrator does recognize Perry and Winston, certainly your faces anyway, and she makes a quick call to Kinnery, and says that he will be there in a couple of minutes to pick you up.
Yeah.
Is there anything immediately that you want to do before he arrives?
No, I have my my
No,
papers.
I'm fine.
Your papers and your presentation, etc. Okay. No problem. So, yeah, he comes down the stairs as you probably expect, and he just kind of saunters up to you. Good morning, gentlemen. Yes, Mr. Gavigan is expecting you. Please do follow me.
Thank you.
Good morning. Yes, thank you very much.
So he leads you back up the stairs, basically to where you were before, that sort of open plan corridor. He gets you to take a seat nearish to where Gavigan's door is, but he quite quickly goes back to what he must have been doing beforehand. So writing stuff, checking papers, what have you.
I sort of nod graciously and sit down and fidget the notes a bit.
Okay, cool. Yeah, a few awkward minutes pass. Gavigan, sorry. Kinnery is not a talkative person. He doesn't really exchange conversation with you. He doesn't even like offer you any refreshments at this point. But you're sort of waiting a little bit and so on. But then the door opens to Gavigan's office, and out he comes. And he's looking, pretty much as if he's expecting to see you. Just give me a second. It's in my workspace again. There we go. And yeah, he comes out. He looks. He kind of looks out of the corridor and says, "Yes, Mr. Greene and company.
Yes.
Is that you?"
Yes, I hold out my hand.
Ah, very good, very good. And yes, he holds out his hand as well and shakes
Genuine
it.
honor to meet you, sir.
And you, by the sounds of it, I've heard quite a lot of things Mr. Kinnery has relayed to me. Please do come in. Do come in.
May I present my associates? This is Dr. Dibden. This is
Proud.
Mr. Astor.
Pleased to meet you, Mr.
Pleased to
Gavigan.
meet you.
Yes, I'm sure. Very good to see you this morning. Would you like any refreshments or coffee, anything at all like that? I could offer an alcoholic beverage if you're that way inclined. I'm not a judgmental person.
Just a glass of water would suffice for me, thank you.
Coffee, please.
Yes, I must admit to being quite taken with the idea of a cup of coffee.
Thomas, please do oblige these gentlemen. Thank you. And he just kind of waves a hand, so Kinnery does get up and presumably sorts that out, and he takes you into his office. It is a very nice office. It's quite big and open. Sort of wooden panels everywhere, that kind of design. Big desk that he goes and sits behind. There's plenty of very plush seating, which he invites you to take a seat at. As you do so, feel free to give me a spot hidden roll, the three of you.
Ooh, spot hidden.
I'll do it right away.
Okay, let's get one of those rolls. I have no chance of doing.
Oh, that's an extreme pass for me. It's a 5.
Ooh, lovely, lovely.
I passed by 10.
Okay, so regular pass.
Right, I clearly, I am just I'm too concerned with my presentation because I am.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, you're a little bit nervous about how that's going to go about. But Arthur, yeah, given you kind of come in as I suppose a second opinion almost, you're a bit more alert, and you notice interestingly there is a safe on one of the corners of the room. It's quite a big safe, but it's ajar, and you can just see inside. There appears to be a pile of, you think maybe either pounds or £5 just sitting there. And it's really weird that like the door is ajar. And Gavigan doesn't really say anything about it or notice it. He maybe he hasn't spotted it at all, but you've definitely seen that.
Well, I'll just tell him, Mr. Gavigan, I don't want to mind your business more than is necessary, but I couldn't help but notice that your safe is ajar.
Ha! A sharp mind you do have, sir. You can't be too careful. Goodness me. And he goes over, he must have just not noticed, and he does sort of push the safe door back, and there's a click, and he closes it. Your coffee and etc. will be on shortly. Yes, and you can see that he's got a big desk. He's got these kind of they're sort of flexing. I can't remember what they're actually called, but the sort of exercising gizmos you use for like strengthening your wrists. He's got one of those, and he kind of puts it away in his drawer. There's a couple of like pictures you think on his desk. So he kind of sits there and says, "So, Mr. Greene, I believe you have a pitch for me about, Mr. Kinnery called them kingmakers, in order to plan an expedition to see these kingmakers in Egypt."
Well, yes. In most of our ancient civilizations, even through medieval times, we have a history of great monarchs, buildings, be they places of worship, great castles and stately homes that are built for them. We always seem to, as historians, look from a top-down perspective on history. We always talk about the monarchs, the great leaders. In Egypt, we look at the burial places of pharaohs. We're constantly looking for mummies, great artifacts, finding this pyramid, that pyramid, making great swaves about, oh my God, we've found yet another antechamber in a pyramid we've been pillaging for over 200 years. And making it sound like it's something important. But the truth is, those pyramids were built not by the pharaoh's hands. May have been at his behest, but it's built on the backs, not just of the common people, but of slaves. I must admit to speaking from a certain historical consideration myself. Whilst I am not old enough to have been a slave myself, my grandparents certainly were.
Yes, I did wonder if that was the case, Mr. Greene.
There are reports, and I show him sort of details of
Yeah, he has a sort of look at them. He kind of peruses over them.
Great expedition talks about going to this pyramid, that pyramid. All very worthy, all very noted, and certainly was worth our time, but we can also learn so much of a country, of its past, of its people, of its ideology, not from the top down, but from the very bottom up. That is what I am interested in discovering. Not the 1%, but the 99 that slaved and toiled for them. Their insights, how they lived, is as much a looking glass into that world, into that land, as any antechamber of a pyramid.
It's a pity that I assume this Dr. Pelletier is a female. She is not here. I would have been very interested to hear her take on this.
It is unfortunate. She has come down with a slight fever. It's unfortunate. I did not wish to reschedule because it was very important. You are an important man. I did not wish to waste your time with rescheduling. And I felt that the presentation was strong enough.
Yes, it does seem to have some legitimacy. There is a possibility that there are potential settlements, even whole civilizations of these people who built and maintained pyramids, temples, etc. But the main problem I have is it's not really fashionable. Mr. Carter, I'm sure you've heard of him. He discovered Tutankhamun's tomb only a few years ago. Everyone is after mummies, kings of old, not the people who made them this way.
But there in itself is the very pitch. Whilst all the other museums are talking about the man on the throne, you could be the people you could be the people that show the everyday Londoners who come and see your exhibit about the people who put them on that throne, who maintained them on that throne. They're, in many ways, the true power. I mean, one revolt and you've got one pharaoh less in the world.
Okay. At that point, as you're kind of finishing your pitch, Kinry comes in with coffee, etc. Can you give me a combined archaeology with some sort of social or your choice, either charm, persuade, fast talk?
I'm going to see which one I've actually got. Okay. Right. What if combining the two gets me over 100?
Well, you don't combine it that way. You have to roll under both of them.
Oh, gold.
You can,
What,
however, have a
same
bonus die, given your pitch verbally was very good, in my opinion. So
Right, so that one roll got to be under one, got to be under both of them at the
it
same
has to
time.
be under both of them. Yeah. So again, you have a bonus die. I've just given you one. So if it's failed, you can try again.
Oh no, it hasn't failed.
Okay.
It hasn't failed at all.
I don't need your filthy bonus die.
No, he never does he?
I no need your. I know. Do I have to take the bonus die, or can I
No.
roll?
So the bonus die that I've been giving any of you is just like a role playing
Yeah,
sentiment.
because I do have a bonus die that Becky brings up a point. I already have one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any dispute in using that on top of what you've got, but there will be occasions where you will be able to have one anyway, given what's happened. Like I said, the speech was good, so I'm happy to give you one anyway. For that.
I'm gonna use it. Simply, I mean, I know what I've just rolled. I'm gonna use it anyway.
Okay.
Because I've got nothing to lose. Yeah, I'm going with my original roll. Right, so
Okay.
just to give you context for this, my archaeology is 75 and my charm is 50, and I rolled 29. So I have a hard pass on my archaeology and I've got a straight pass, just a normal pass on my charm.
Okay. And are you going to spend any luck on that?
You know what? I'm going to chance it. I'm going to spend 4 points
4
of
points.
luck
Okay.
just to get it to 25, so it's a hard pass on both.
Lovely. Okay. Coolio. Yeah, so Gavigan seems like you've got a good few points at least. He doesn't seem like he's showing any animosity to your pitch at all. He says, well, I'm certainly happy to consider this line of inquiry. I do agree that not everything is about the kings and the pharaohs and so on and so forth. But like I said, that is the fashion nowadays. It's not necessarily what we are passionate about. It's what others want to see.
It is often, I believe, the case that sometimes fashion is created.
That is true.
Fashion can be molded. Opinions can be nudged towards one thing rather than another.
Certainly, and that's why the pharaohs are so fashionable at the moment. Mr. Carter was really the catalyst for the whole thing in the end. In fact, I don't know if you know this, but he stumbled upon Tutankhamun's tomb fairly accidentally.
Yes, which is wonderful for him, and understandably there is interest, but my work will underscore and give foundation to the other work as well. It will give context and concept to what Egypt was like, providing both points of view to create a better, fuller vision of that ancient civilization.
Yes, and he sort of writes a few notes down in his diary, you think, or something like that. But then he kind of sits back a little and he says, "Well, you've told me a lot about this expedition you plan, Mr. Greene. Tell me a bit about you, about your companions. I appreciate it is a little out of the ordinary, given they are your assistants, but I am an open-minded man. What brought you here in the first place? I understand you're American. I can tell.
Well,
What
yes.
brought you here?
I gained my doctorates in San Francisco. I was working there. I have had a particular interest in ancient civilizations. Again, I suppose from my own family history, I am intrigued by those civilizations that employed slavery on such a grand scale. But the truth is, and I do not wish to speak ill of my fellows in San Francisco, but the truth is, all the best work, the most interesting work regarding Egyptian studies is being performed here in London. America is very much behind the times. We are following your fashion. So I believe that if I were to create any sort of enterprise at all and have any hope of it being seen as a worthwhile endeavor, I had to come to London.
He kind of sort of takes a breath for a moment, leans back, but then he kind of leans forward actually and says, yes, but why are you really here? I understand that we are a prestigious establishment, and I understand why you felt the need to come to England, but there are so many that you could have sought out in the USA. Surely there's something else. And I get the impression, if you don't mind me saying, from your pigment, perhaps not everything has gone so well for you in the past.
It is a personal pain I don't often speak of, but it is true that whilst I have the qualifications, the ability, the drive, my race, my history, my people have caused me to lose many chances at leading or indeed being part of expeditions, except in a more lesser and menial capacity. I haven't been asked to go as an archaeologist or a historian. I've been asked to go as, to put it bluntly, chief cook and bottle washer. As I say, as for your own interests, I asked a few people. Whilst there are many societies, museums, and so on in London, that is very true. You are the society that seems very much focused on Egypt, and I felt that with you, I could make this presentation to the best. I felt that this was the place to come. You have a great deal of experience in the area.
Well, yes, we certainly do. I must say you are not the first unlikely archaeologist, scholar, etc., to approach me. I'm sure you've heard of other endeavors I've done in the past. So it is a fair fit, I suppose.
We hear of previous endeavors and so on. As he tries to find a bit of his notes. I'm trying to find the notes so I can actually get the name. And I don't have the flipping name. Yeah.
You thinking Carlisle?
That's the one.
Important.
It'll be in there somewhere. I've got all my notes.
What, Roger Carlyle?
Yeah. The Carlisle expedition, for example.
Yes, that is one example I can think of. They themselves, not in terms of skin color, but certainly in terms of reputation, they sought my advice, and as you probably know, Sir Aubrey was one of the people who joined them on the expedition in the end. So we are not foreign to such people as yourself.
Thank you. Yes, I did. I heard that the expedition ended somewhat badly. However,
Yes, unfortunately it did, or else I would not be here as a director. I do laugh. It is something I can do nowadays, but obviously at the time it was quite a raw reaction to the fact that Sir Aubrey and the others disappeared, and then they died so horribly. Essentially, well, they came here for a little while. They did some studying, training, and so on with one of my assistants, and then they headed straight off to Egypt afterwards.
would we
Go on, sir.
be would we be dealing with the same assistant?
Oh, well,
Should you consider the presentation favorably, of course.
Miss Shafik is employed on an ad hoc basis. If you specifically want her to give you training, then I can arrange that.
You recommend her highly?
Yes, yes. She is Egyptian born. Well, certainly compared to myself, she knows about the local culture, how to withstand the heat, and various other things, possibly much better than myself.
Excellent. Yes, that would be. I think she would be perfect then.
Well, I can certainly arrange that, but yes, it was a terrible loss. From what I know, they went over, and I'm sure you know about the African woman who accompanied them as well. This Bounet character. They were in Egypt for a little while. From what I know, there was some Egyptian history they specifically wanted to try and dig up. But in the end, it all turned out to be a hoax, and he sort of smiles a little bit at that. He says, in the end, this African woman, Bounet, disappeared with the expedition's ready funds. I believe it amounted to nearly £4,000 in the end.
My dear.
However, it is, to me, certainly it is an insignificant loss. We are gentlemen of the world, are we not?
Are you saying that this Benet person was actually guiding the expedition to somewhat?
I know that Sir Aubrey was leading a lot of the Egypt part of the expedition that they intended to do. But yes, Miss Bounet was quite paramount to what they were looking for. And as you probably know, Mr. Carlyle was very close to her. So, of course, there was a level of trust there. It is a shame that all the money was lost. But Carlyle as well, I'm aware that he counted lost money as insignificant as well. He did telegram back to us about things, but he was More than that, he was very deeply affected by what this African lover of his had done. It was seen by him as a quite great betrayal.
I can well believe. Yes,
This
upsetting.
this happened in Egypt before they moved on to.
Yes, indeed. Like I said, Mr. Carlyle did keep in touch with me as a point of contact. From what I'm aware of, Miss Masters was the one who suggested that they go somewhere like Kenya, a cooler climb. Mr. Carlyle was suffering from health issues. I presume that's to do with the heat, possibly heat stroke and things. So they spend the summer months somewhere cooler, in the uplands somewhere, from what I know. And of course, up there is wonderful, wonderful views. And she is a photographer, or rather was a photographer. So it makes sense why she suggested such a place. But once they were there, they did unfortunately stray into rather dubious territory. There are plenty of hostile tribes in the uplands of Kenya. You may or may not know that. However, they unfortunately paid with their lives. And a lot of the share of what they found on the expedition was entirely lost with them. Wherever he is, there they are.
Would you say they were a well-prepared expedition?
Say that again, sorry, Phil.
Were they a well-prepared expedition, in your opinion?
Well, considering the Foundation helped prepare them, of course they were.
So, okay, so I'd be very interested in seeing their preparation, so we can copy to some extent what they did if they were so well prepared.
Well, we give the same training to anyone who's intending to venture out to Egypt.
Yeah, I'm just
And you notice he looks a little insulted by what you said?
I'm just thinking along the more lines of sort of licenses, digging licenses, anything we might not have thought of.
Well, I would hope you would have thought of everything,
Well,
given you're presenting this pitch to me.
So would I, but we don't want to get there and find out there's something we have missed. We want to be as well prepared as possible before we go.
One of the reasons we did come to you is that whilst we have a good broad idea of what we will require, there are bound to be smaller things that we may not have thought of that your wealth of experience will be able to highlight.
And I assume you have a wealth of contacts in the area as well we could might benefit from.
Are you suggesting that I hold your hand a little? Are you a bit out of your depth, Mr. Greene?
Only in as much as the first few tentative steps. Once we have a sure footing.
It's a big undertaking, and we want to make sure we get it right. We don't want to even a well-prepared expedition obviously failed, as you just said.
Well, like I said, they are given as much training as they can get. In terms of why they failed, like I said, this awful woman took all their money.
Yes.
I imagine you don't have anybody in your party who would do such a thing, Mr. Greene.
I can't think of any awful women in my party, no.
Not even this Dr. Pelletier you've talked about?
No, as I say, she's quite a dear.
Well, Mr. Carlyle thought that his lover was quite a dear. before they went to Egypt, and look what
Yeah.
happened to that.
Yes, I can assure you of many things. One of them being that Miss Pelletier and I are not intimate on that level.
I'm pleased to hear. Can you make me psychology rolls at this point?
I'd rather not, because my psychology sucks.
Psychology's not great.
Do we do it, all of us, or just
Yeah, you can, all of you can do it. Yeah.
I failed.
I failed?
And when he needed to roll well. It's just a standard pass, but it's a pass.
Is a regular pass, okay? Perry?
Just a regular pass. Considering my psychology score is 13, I'm quite happy
Hey,
with that.
it's still good. Give it a tick.
I have.
Perry?
I do believe that Perry failed.
Okay. I didn't hear. That's why I was asking.
So did I.
I know that. Yeah, I know that you felt. Okay, so just wins the pass. Okay, so he's very hard to read. This guy. He's intrigued by what you're intending to do, your angle of approach to this expedition. You're not sure if he's just a very extroverted person, he's genuinely interested in you as a person or not. But yeah, he's definitely kind of got the room, like control wise and etc. Well, I will certainly have a good think about this proposal of yours.
Thank you. When would we be expected to hear an answer?
It depends how urgent this expedition of yours is currently standing at.
Well, we would look to be going as soon as is practical. Strike while the iron is hot and all that.
Well, yes, strike is a good word. You strike me as somebody who seems to want to get out there quite quickly. Would that be correct?
I am a little worried that I may not be the only person who has had this particular idea in mind, and I would like to get in there before possibly other interested parties.
Oh, well, certainly there's nobody funded by us who has such an idea, so there is no massive rush as far as I'm aware.
No, but it would be nice to have an indication as soon as you are able, so that we can make final preparations. Should you find with us favorably?
Well, I am happy to look into this over the next few days and
Thank you.
let you know. Are you staying nearby?
Yeah, I give him the name of the hotel.
Okay, so the Cavendish
Yeah.
Hotel, yes. Okay. Cavendish Hotel, very well. Well, gentlemen, is there anything not necessarily on the topic of the expedition that you wish to ask me of?
I have one small request. When I was here before, I was allowed to look, albeit briefly, due to having appointments elsewhere. I looked briefly at your rather wonderful library. I was wondering if I would be allowed to, over the next few days, be allowed to take a more detailed look.
Just to remind you, you do have full admission to that now.
I know, but I'm
You're still asking me anyway. Okay.
I'm giving him. I'm asking him anyway because I'm nice, and I want to see his reaction to it.
He doesn't really react any specific way. He just simply asks, "Well, do you know of the annual fee for that? Have you sorted that out with the administrator?"
I have sorted that out, but
Well, there you go.
I just wanted to have your endorsement and so on from that.
Well, you don't necessarily need to ask my permission. That's why I have staff to do that for me.
I know, but when one is in the master's presence, the master of the house's presence, one does ask permission.
He looks at you a little inquisitive about that.
Sorry, something my grandparents often said, perhaps inappropriately, given the circumstances of their usage of it.
That's what I assumed, yes. Mr. Greene, if you want to be leading this expedition, you need to get out of that mindset, if you don't mind me saying.
It is something I will work upon. I extend my hand again. I thank you so very, very much for your time.
And he does a firm handshake again. Is there anything else that the other two of you wish to say to him or ask him before you all go off? Or anything you want to look around or what have you?
No, I was still thinking about the safe, but there isn't really anything to ask him. Like, why did you leave it open? Why are you so dumb? But
I mean, you can ask him that if you really want to. There's a couple of other
definitely
bits
not.
and pieces in here. There is like a cabinet full of like a decanter and like nice whiskey, brandy, and so on. And there's another cupboard. But apart from his desk, it is just a very nice office.
Has he got much Egyptian pieces in there? Anything he's brought back?
Not really in here. No, nothing like no big pieces. There's definitely like there's some nice sort of plants in here, like that may be sort of inspired by Egyptians. So a couple of smaller palm trees and things, but that's about it.
Either way, I believe I'm good. I'd rather not ask anything else.
Okay.
I think we maybe just about got away with it. I'm going to leave while we're still on something of a high.
Well, I will be in contact with you at the Cavendish Hotel.
Thank you so much for your time.
You're very welcome.
And I head out.
Okay.
Going to head straight out because I'm going to get round the corner where they can't see us, and then have a slight panic attack. So I'll go. Do you think we just edged that?
I do believe that it is too early to say, but beside getting a safe pass to Egypt, if it is the case, I don't believe we got that much else to uncover or to help us in our endeavors.
No, but it didn't shaft us either, and we've now established a direct connection between Gavigan and the lady at the Blue Pyramid Club.
I thought he was very impressed by your presentation. I thought he probably can see there's money in it.
Well, here's hoping. Plus, by asking him permission about using the library It means if I'm going in there for the next couple of days snooping about, my presence won't be a surprise to him.
Yeah, and hopefully the safe will be open up again.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's the thing.
Shitload of money.
I'm not going in his office. Not unless we have real reason to go.
Like he's out for drinks. You never know.
The coffee was very nice, by the way.
Oh well, thank you.
Well, you know, it should have been.
Yes, it did meet the standards that you expected, Winston.
Now that's a great cup of coffee.
So whilst they're doing that, I decided to visit Shipley and Hospital.
Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
So you head on over back to the hospital, and you ask to see him. To which the doctor says, Mademoiselle, I'm sorry. He is no longer here. He has been taken to the asylum. He was completely unfit to remain in the premises. Any sort of light that we were using, I mean, we need, especially towards the end of the day, to see, he would go into terrible fits of rage. He could not be contained.
How do you mean? He's an artist, of course he is eccentric.
No,
Does not make him mad?
is. He would shout and scream. He would writhe on the bed. We'd have to restrain him. It was as if he was in agony, as if someone was pouring boiling water over him.
Have you never met an artist
What are you
before?
trying to say?
They are all that great. They are all like that, mad people.
Are you
But that doesn't
disputing
make them
how I
mad.
do my work, Miss
Just 'cause
Pelletier?
I am saying the man is an artist. Of course he is eccentric.
Eccentricity
and
is
weird.
one thing. Behaving in that way is another thing. He obviously was
I see.
reacting in a completely
Did he,
irrational way.
can you tell me, did he say anything as he was in his rages?
Do you mean anything coherent?
Or even incoherent?
Well, like I said, he was obviously appearing to be in pain whenever we brought him into a lit room, especially in the ward. He was disturbing the other patients as well, which of course was problematic. He did mention about a group of people going into a pyramid a couple of times.
Interesting.
Why is that interesting? There are no pyramids in England, as you
Oh.
know.
No, of course not. And the nearest thing you have is a mound next to your Stonehenge. It's not even
Indeed.
pyramid
So it
shaped.
seems odd, don't you think, that he would display such a thing? Or describe such a thing?
No. And not if you have seen his art. It would make perfect sense. I'm curious to know what he said about it.
Oh, well, he didn't say much. He simply said that those who went in would suffer a terrible fate.
Ah, interesting. I have the picture he painted of the pyramid, you see. So to me, that is very interesting. You see, this is what I mean. When you know he is an artist, then all of a sudden there is a context to his words. Not so mad after all.
Maybe to you, Miss Pelletier, but he has been institutionalized and he'll be looked after by very competent members of staff. If you wish to visit him, I can give you the address.
Certainly. Has
Okay.
his mother been around at all?
I didn't even know he had a mother. No. Why do you ask?
Horrible old crocodile of a woman.
Well, that may be why she has not turned up.
Indeed.
Yes, so he gives you the address. Oh, there is a creature, although not a stink bug, thank God, this time. He's been taken to the Maudsley Hospital at Denmark Hill.
In Denmark? It is a long way to go.
No, Denmark Hill. It is still in London, ma'am.
Oh, I understand. A district. Okay.
No, just one single hill.
Oh. I did not know it. I'm sorry.
Well, that is the address. Like I said, if you want to visit him, you'll have to call them yourself.
I will go there. And I do.
Okay. You sort of hear him give a sigh as you leave. Bloody French.
Not French, I'm an artist. Oh, I am French.
Yeah. So, I'm assuming you head there straight away, do you?
Well, I did not intend to stand around outside looking at the sun. It is England.
Okay. I'm just wondering. It is quite a nice day, to be fair. It's been nicer day than it has been for a few days. But anyway, yeah, it takes a little bit of time. It's much further north than you are at the moment. Sort of even almost out of London. But yeah, you're heading up there, and you're greeted by a couple of orderlies at the front desk. May I help you, madam?
I am here to visit Mr. Shipley.
Mr. Miles Shipley?
Probably. Never asked his first name, I don't remember. I heard it sometime. Maybe it was that. I don't pay attention to names very much.
And what is your relation to Mr. Shipley?
Is that relevant to you?
Well, of course, for us, because we need to know who you are, but also how he may
He is
react
mad
to
if
you.
I'm related. Maybe I am mad too. Is that why? I'm not mad. I'm just angry. Just the way I was born. I'd like to see him, please.
Can you give me a persuade roll, please, Francoise?
Oh, missed it by 2. Go on, 2 luck.
To spend some luck? Yes.
Yeah, it's close enough. I'll use the 2 luck.
Okay. So they say, well, we would like you to fill out some forms after you've seen him, but in the meantime, let me show you where he is.
Merci.
He is in a bit of a state, so please do take care. We will be on hand if you need any help.
Of course.
So they've got like a big bunch of keys. This guy takes you up to like the first floor, takes you on the corridor. You can hear sort of screaming, weird manic laughter, all sorts of weird shit going on in different rooms. He then opens up one of the doors, this big sort of metal door with like a little shutter, and he pushes open the door. He is intending to kind of shut you in there, but he does check that you're okay with that.
But the locked doors in between is not secure enough. He is mad, not an escape artist. He paints pictures. Different type of artist. And you call him mad.
He shuts the door but doesn't lock it. So you're in there alone with Miles. There's basically just a bed in there, not much else. You can see that Miles has tried to there's like a single light bulb that looks kind of almost like he's tried to break it. It's sort of cracked a bit. At the minute, he's sort of writhing around a bit, kind of doing a weird crawling with the lights being on. He's sort of heaving, and it's kind of horrible, really.
Yes, Perry mentioned that you were addicted to something. Hello, Miles.
He's not acknowledging you at all.
Miles, what is the thing you are addicted to? Was it laudanum? Opium?
He kind of eventually turns round and looks at you, and you think he's got a little bit of like recognition going through his head of who you are, but he doesn't say anything audible to you. He kind of looks up briefly and then immediately covers his eyes and sort of starts writhing around again on the floor and sort of crying out, screaming.
I refuse to believe that you cannot be saved. We need to get you some of this stuff. What is it? Maybe I can find it for you.
Can you make me a social roll, please?
Ah. Balls. Don't have one that high. Oh well. I refuse to spend 7 luck, so... Oh well.
Bonus die?
It's too late, I
Yeah,
already rolled the dice.
You may also try and push it.
Yes, you
and
could
have
push
plot
it.
consequences for trying to save someone that, like, probably in the story terms has no real consequence. It's just, I'd like to actually try and save the guy. It's a Frodo thing. It's like, I have to believe it's possible to come back from this. I'll grab him and shake him. Listen to me, Miles. If that is your name, they told me at the front desk you're called Miles. Just the artist shipped you to me, but that does not matter. You will listen. What is it that you are addicted to?
Is that your way of saying you're going to be pushing?
Oh, I suppose it is, really, isn't it? I'm accidentally pushing the roll, but that's not the same as pushing the roll.
Right. Sounds to me like you are pushing it.
Yeah. I guess I am.
Go on then.
You'll only screw up everyone else. It's, it's fine. So I roll again, don't I?
You roll
Yeah.
again, but you can't spend any luck if you fail.
Okay, that is a hard pass.
Okay. So he kind of stops a minute. He's got like a loose shirt on, and he kind of pulls it over his eyes. But then he starts talking to you and says, it's good that you're here. I'm pleased to see you. I'm sorry, the light isn't too much for me.
Okay, is there a light switch in here? Can I switch it off?
Can
I unscrew it even?
Yeah, you could unscrew it or try and break it.
I'll use a scarf or my mink coat that I often wear, and I'll unscrew it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, eventually it goes out. It's not pitch black by this point, but obviously with the door, it's fairly dark in here. And you immediately hear this kind of sigh of relief from him, and he slowly kind of uncovers his shirt.
Have you not learned how to do that? It's quite simple. You twist.
It gives me so much pain. Light nowadays is very bad for me, miss.
Is that why you paint in your dark studio? Why do you paint? Oh yes, the portals. You said about portals.
Yes, the Serpent Man is very keen to bring other people into London through the
Right.
paintings.
Okay, and how does he do that? How does he activate the portal?
Oh,
I've lost you.
hello.
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 I can hear you through the ceiling. I cannot see the stream.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, but you're all right.
We can hear you.
Also.
Okay, it's all coming back.
Yep.
Yep, it's coming back. Okay, cool. Right. What was I saying? Oh yes.
You say how do you do that?
How does the lizard man intend to open the portals in the paintings? I mean, I have 2 of them. Am I going to have lizard men in my bedroom?
No. Those were to get us some more money. But they're effects of what I've taken, things I've seen. He was making me work on something bigger, but he was hidden back in the house. I don't think your friend who got me out, I don't think he saw it, or else he would have been mad by that point when he got to me.
So, there is something in the house we have to destroy? Is that right?
You want to stop it? You want to destroy it?
Do you want a lizard man to live next door? Think of what it would do to the house prices. I'm joking, of course. I make a joke. It's very funny.
He's
we must
obviously
stop
not
them.
laughing.
We must stop them coming through the portals. Of course we must.
The Serpent Man will need to find another artist or take me from here.
Interesting. So, that is what he will do to finish your work. Yes, it is unfinished.
Yeah.
How do we stop the Serpent Man? What do we know? I mean, the Dark Pharaoh, I know, does not like cats, but how do I use that?
Dark Pharaoh?
Yes.
What,
You
the one
painted the procession of him.
I saw a pharaoh on a chariot with lots of people in the background.
Yes,
I don't know who he was.
The Dark Pharaoh. He is a character of myth among cultists in Egypt.
Oh.
It is why I asked you about cults.
He looks a bit kind of dumbfounded at this. I don't know anything about it. I've just seen it through this stuff. I really need some more, by the way. I'm really struggling.
And what is this stuff? Opiates?
He calls it... No, something else. He calls it Plutonian. He makes it himself in a room in the basement.
I see.
That's how he got me under his clutches, his scales, whatever you want to call it.
You may have to go cold turkey. I think the only way to get more is to go in there. I don't think I can buy a Pluto.
That's what he calls it. I don't know if he's got anything left in the house. He doesn't take it himself. He used it on me.
Yes,
he used it on me to believe and understand what he wants me to paint.
I see. So it is like a vision quest type thing, like the Native Americans.
Well, when I take it, it makes me see things, yeah.
Do you know how we stop this lizard man?
Have you got a gun?
Several.
Well, that might do. The one time I tried, he was He was being my mother, and he couldn't help but change back when I tried pushing him down the stairs, but it wasn't enough. He likes to eat once a week, maybe more.
What does he eat?
People
Is
like
he-
you.
Ah,
Although,
so
no,
we could feed him cats.
no offense. I try and get people who are more low lifes. Nobody who'd be missed.
But what if we replace his food with cats? How does he prepare his food?
He just eats it alive. I don't know about cats. He seems to want. He likes people. He likes the taste of people.
I see. When he was falling down the stairs, did he show a remarkable resistance to his injuries?
No, not really. But he definitely started changing when he fell. He couldn't help it. He was changing back into his form.
I see. You see, I'm just a little nervous of shooting Crocodile Man. Because
Yeah,
the
he
last time
kind of brandishes his hand that's all kind of bloodied and stuff at you.
Mm.
It says, if you go back there, you're an idiot. Look what he did to me, just by letting you go.
Something has to be done. More people will die. Did you, people you took, did they happen to be of a certain ethnic persuasion?
What, like black?
Egyptian, say.
No. There's a few prostitute places that I go to nearby. I don't remember any black girls. And some of my mother's friends as well. He made me go and get them to eat them up as well.
Just curious if it was connected to the Egyptian murders in some way, because Black Pharaoh and Egyptians, it seemed relevant.
What Egyptian murders? He obviously doesn't know anything about this.
Oh, it has been in the news lately that Egyptians have been getting murdered in horribly graphic ways.
I never read the news. I couldn't.
I
You never
understand.
delivered to me.
You should not be in here anyway. This is a madhouse for mad people. You're not mad, you're addicted.
The lie is so painful. They thought that I was unfit to be in hospital.
You have sensitive eyes and you have an addiction. You should not be in here. I will have a word with the doctor, but I doubt it will help. They have made up their minds.
Well, I'm happy to try and ride it out in here, but it's going to be hard.
At least in here, your mother will not find you, eh?
No,
If
he
you
won't.
if you do get out, you can find me at the Savoy. I will see what I can do about your mother.
She's not. He's not
I
my
know.
mother.
I know, but it seems like a more appropriate phrasing than Crocodile Man.
But he can change form.
I
Like
know.
if he ate you, he might take on your form.
Ah, so it is people he has eaten.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because he's eaten you or seen you, but he can take on more than one person. Like I said, that's how he got me. He pretended he was some guy, some lover of the arts who said he could show me things that no man has ever seen.
Oh, so you are some kind of homosexual.
No,
Sorry, it was just too good a chance to pass up.
I know.
Oh.
No, he pulled me aside at a bar. He was talking about artistic stuff.
Oh, I see. You fight it out as much as you can, Miles. I will go speak to doctor and see if I can persuade them.
Please don't make them put the light on again.
I will speak to them about that specifically. Okay, and I'll go leave the room and I'll see if I can find a doctor, or his doctor specifically.
Yeah, there's a few orderlies and so on.
Yeah, I'll say I need to speak to his doctor.
Yes, he's downstairs, madam.
Thank you. Lead on.
Yeah, he takes you over to him.
Look, you are the doctor of Miles Shipley, who has just been brought in here?
Yes, that's right. He's been here for over 24 hours now.
Well, it is my understanding that he has two problems, neither of which are psychological. He has a chronic sensitivity to light in his eyes, and he has an addiction issue.
And who are you, sorry?
I am the person who knows what is wrong with him, as opposed to his doctor.
Are you a relative of his?
No. But I have just spoken to the patient, and would you believe it, if you just unscrew his light bulb, he is instantly so much better. He's complaining about the light, and you don't turn off the light. I mean, come on. He has an eye problem, and also he has an addiction issue, which you can find by talking to him.
Well, of course, there's an addiction issue. I'm not an idiot.
I'm glad you're keeping up.
But we need to see what the patients are doing.
Then you use a light from another room or something. You do not put direct light on him. That his eye, he has an eye issue.
Can you maybe
You put
either
him in.
persuade or an intimidate roll, Francoise?
Okay. I meant to say bonus die. I didn't, and I missed. Bugger.
You can use it if you want.
Yeah, go on. I want to get him out. He just needs to. Oh, hard pass.
Okay. So yeah, he looks at you. You're obviously being sincere, but still very unsubtle. And he says, "Well, you seem to know a lot for a woman, I must say. Perhaps you do have a point about an issue with his eyes. I'm happy to look into that more."
Yes, you see, he's in so much pain with the light. Of course, he goes mad. That on top of his addiction issue, it is understandable that what he is reacting the way he is. You have shown remarkable empathy for a man. I am impressed.
What is he addicted to?
That I'm not sure of. He calls it a Pluto, but I think it is a street name I do not know. But
Need to sort of write something down. Well, we need to wean him off it.
I think without the ability to go get it, whatever it is, I think it must be some kind of new drug or something. But I think the only option is called turkey. But
Yes, well,
turkey is not Christmas leftovers.
You do seem like a bit of a know-it-all. I will certainly reconsider about the lighting aspect of his room, but until then, he is certainly going to be weaning off this drug in the usual way.
If you can work out what it is, good luck. Anyway, I have done all I have needed to do here. Merci. Au revoir.
So, for those of you leaving the Penhew Foundation, because I think you said you're going to go straight out, anything else that any of you want to do while you're there, or anything you want to do in the immediate vicinity before meeting back up with Francoise?
I'm thinking lunch because I reckon.
Yeah, it is around lunchtime now. Yeah,
I reckon I either get something to settle my stomach, or I may very well be throwing up for the remainder of the afternoon out of nerves.
Okay.
Because
Well,
that was some pitch.
it's like Dragon's Den.
It felt like it.
What about Perry and Arthur?
We can get some.
No, I think I'll settle for fish and chips, and then I'll meet up with Francoise.
Good old fish and chips, Governor.
Yeah,
Oh God, I missed that. I missed that so much.
Yep, you did.
drop past the hotel, or maybe see if Francoise has left a note of where she's going.
Would you have done that?
She's too angry.
No, I
She
didn't think so. Okay. You're muted, babe.
It's just as well.
I heard some shouting downstairs. That's why I wondered. Cool. Okay. I appreciate we've started later, but can we take a quick break at least, like a few minutes?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Yep.
See you in a
Thank
bit.
you. Yes. We've been up to see family today, hence why we started late. Hello to Braden, by the way, once you're watching. And anybody else, of course.
Jason.
Yes, Gigi.
Gigi.
Hello. Hello, Ronald.
Hello. Hi, Steve.
And hello to the rest of you.
Our best aficionado. Hello, Steve.
Hello. I am not mad at you, Steve.
Probably the only person you're not mad at the minute.
She's mad at me. Everyone's mad at me.
She's mad at everybody but Steve.
That's what I was saying.
Although I have to say, for coming up with something on the spur of the moment and off the cuff, I thought I did really well with that pitch.
Hence why I gave you a bonus die.
And you actually didn't want to use it.
I know you're like, nah, don't need it.
Well, I rolled a 29, and I was
I don't want to use it. Me. I already have it.
well, I'd rolled 29, which was really good, and I thought, which is why I asked, do I have to keep the second result? And then when you said no, I went, oh, fuck it. Let's
just
try it.
Steve's thing. I'm not mad at you either, Becky.
For me, Bex, and I will be mad at you. Do I look like a footballer?
I think unless Steve comes in as a cameo at some point, I think you'll be fine. So yes, it comes up to, let's say, 1 o'clock, so a late-ish lunch. But yeah, unless you want to do anything else, I presume you all meet back up with each other at that point.
Yes, and I'm carrying an easel.
You're carrying an easel, okay.
Taking up painting, Francoise?
One of us is. I will explain. But first, how did your meeting go? Have we learned whether they are the good guys or the bad guys, or did you fail at that too?
Well, let's just say that although we have not found any concrete evidence one way or the other, the pitch was fantastic. And we have certainly at least earned some brownie points enough that I can go in over the next couple of days and snoop around.
Were you not already a member? So what, you have sold them a trip to Egypt we don't intend to take? Sounds like it was a great success. Magnifique!
What did your last one of?
His soul and all of his dreams in just a sentence.
It's a no-win situation. Just accept you're wrong and move on.
You can almost see Monsieur Pelletier dying as his testicles shrivel up on an almost daily basis.
Fortunately, Francoise is single.
So whilst you were busy screwing that up, I have found out what the lizard man will be doing there. Sorry, I can't talk. So, whilst you were busy screwing that up, I have found out what the lizard man will be doing next, and I have also found out that it can die to mortal wounds. So, its plan will be to find a new artist. So, we need to make sure that it is one of us, and then we need to make sure that we get some of the drug so that we can give it to our friend Miles so it can be weaned off.
I beg your pardon?
Which part are you not keeping up with?
The one with the French accent.
Call this a French accent? It is terrible. Even I know that, and I am French.
Oh my god.
It's that Peruvian hinge you've got.
Short part before to let him wing up.
So, the lizard man will be looking for a new artist. He has this painting that Shipley had not finished, and the painting, the big one that he has been making, is the portal. The ones we have are not portals; they are safe. Okay?
All right.
Go for
Does
that.
that make sense so far? So,
Yes.
so the lizard man, excuse me, the lizard man will need to find a new artist to finish the painting.
Seems extremely dangerous.
So, we need to make sure that the artist he finds is one of us, and then we use that opportunity to get some of this drug that the lizard man makes. He calls it Pluto something, and we need to make sure we get some so that we can give it to Miles to help wean him off. And then the best part is, I know now that the lizard man can feel mortal wounds. When he is wounded, he changes form back to his lizard self. So we can kill it with guns.
Do I, as a surgeon, recall the Pluto something to an existing kind of drug?
No. It's either a very new kind of slang thing, maybe, that people use, or it's absolutely nothing you've heard of.
Right.
So, I think the first question that comes before the group, and I think we should have a show of hands on this one. Given that Francoise has all the paints and easels and so on, do you think that she is the best candidate to be the artist?
Well, I think there's probably only one person she can trust to get it right.
Yes, because we don't want to screw that one up as well.
I'm glad to see that we have a similar line of thinking, Winston. Bastard.
If you want something doing, do it yourself.
Oh,
But I have a slightly different one when it comes to this. If you want someone to get really close to a lizard man, I don't want to do it myself at all.
Still, I don't see how.
Billiard tables in the area at all.
Still, I don't see how we may get in touch with this lizard folk.
But it's
in order
quite
to
simple.
gain-
You paint a London street. This is why I have an easel. We set it up outside the house. We start painting the street. Say we are doing a scene of London life.
If I get the idea, what you're suggesting is by doing this painting and being so close, the lizard will want to bond with you the way that he bonded with Shipley.
That is the idea, yes.
Yeah.
We get the dog, we shoot it. Job done. We go home for tea.
Speaking of tea, and possibly during the time that Francoise is away, is there anything that three of you want to follow up on? Or anything else you want to do with Foundation or anything like that?
No, I think we need to deal with this Shipley situation.
Before moving anywhere else, yes, I agree.
Yeah. I mean, we could do other things, but the point is, if we do other stuff, then there are plenty of artists out there that this lizard could bond with, which means we'd have to go hunting and looking for this artist in order to find it. And we've got to try and get it out.
Okay.
Got to lure it.
Well, bear in mind that the Foundation closes at 5 o'clock if you want to go back there or what have you, just to remind you. So you've got a bit of time.
Well, I mean, if we can do it in such a way that we can be finished just before 5 o'clock, or get to the foundation just before 5 o'clock, we can always follow Gavigan home.
Ah, you want to follow him home?
Well, I mean, I would very much like us all to follow him home. Obviously, Francoise would have to take the lead because that won't screw it up.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying here. Yeah, I guess it depends on how long it takes. Also, as for going to see Ms. Shafik, is that going to be later on your to-do list, Francoise?
When the light has faded.
When the light
She
is
won't be
faded.
at the club during the day anyway.
More practically, with following Gavigan, it has to really be Francoise because he's seen all the rest of us.
Also, just on that point, he finishes work every day, but we may lose our opportunity to be the artist if we are too slow.
True.
Well, we'll just have to we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, I think we have to deal with this lizard situation. We can't risk it.
Well, we know what
pressing others.
Gavigan's going to be tomorrow as well. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, what we could do is I could paint a scene of 3 people holding guns in the street. Why
As a
not?
foreshadowing of what's going to happen.
I was going to say, actually, like, are any of the rest of you planning to be involved in this venture back to the Shipley house?
I'm hoping that people with guns will be there, and that those people with guns are all of you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do believe that.
Okay.
The alternative is I get paint with lead poisoning and hope I can paint it to death.
the only other thing is maybe waiting for it to go out to find an artist and then break in when it's gone.
We can try it. It is our best hope, I think, to be the artist in order to get the drug. Otherwise, we just go in and kill it.
The problem is if it goes out and finds another artist, we're wasting time tracking that artist down and trying to figure that out.
I'm assuming you bring the artist back to the house. The picture is
Possible, but then again, we don't know how long it would take to find the artist and bring him back or her back. We gotta sort of bring this to a head, I think. For no other reason than we don't want to fucking see someone finish that damn painting. If it's going to be the gateway, the last thing we need is going there and finding Rolf fucking Harris going, can you tell what it is yet? It's a great big gateway.
So, are we all agreed this is what we do this afternoon?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah. At which point I will go to my room and I will retrieve my handgun.
Mm-hmm.
And I will take some ammunition with me as well.
Yes.
sort of think what you consider some ammunition.
Just enough for a couple of reloads. I'm not taking a box or anything.
So
No.
the rest of you, would you be taking your shotguns? And the correct answer is
Yes, of course.
merci. Standards are improving around here.
We'll take yours as well.
Yeah.
Of course.
As other patrons of the hotel suddenly see 3 men walking out with suspicious bulges under their trench coats.
They're going out for an hunt. This is perfectly
Oh
acceptable.
yes, hunt, capital, yes.
It is perfectly acceptable to have a gun in its carry case, in a carry bag.
We'll just tell
True.
people we're going grouse shooting, because that way, if there's more than 6 of us, we'll be fine.
Oh yeah, that's perfectly acceptable. Like going down to Wimbledon, etc. Shoot some wombles.
Well,
Yeah, that's what's on Wimbledon Common, Phil.
We'll be going overground and underground for those.
Get a womble.
Aye. Wombling free. Cool. Okay. Right. So you all head to the Shipley residence at about 2:00. Are you all heading there together, or are you planning to kind of rejoin Francoise a bit later for your plan?
I'm not going alone. I'm not crazy.
No, I think strength in numbers probably the way to go.
Are we going to wait in the taxi?
No, I'm going to paint you. Holding your guns.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Why fuck about?
So you're posing, okay.
It's going to
Yeah.
Yes.
So what we want to do is we want one person sort of facing, holding a gun that way. We want one person facing that way with a gun, and we want one person sort of standing in the middle with a gun, so that you can do it silhouette and we'll look like Charlie's Angels.
Okay.
Just stand there with your guns. You don't have to be pointing them. People might complain.
At this point, I'm referring to the original TV series and not the movies.
I wonder how quickly this will get us a visit from B Division.
Oh, I wanted to be Lucilio.
It is clear that I am painting you, and it is a scene. It is perfectly fine. Perfectly plausible reason to be there with your guns. It is an artistic statement. How can you complain about that? No.
I don't think this has ever happened ever in
Of course,
Masks.
that's not.
Okay.
Because no one could do it properly.
Everyone else has screwed it up, obviously.
Obviously.
They should have had a woman. Tell
Yes.
them what to do.
Okay. So, okay. So again, it's fairly quiet around here at the moment. Occasionally you see an officer come around like on his beat sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's definitely out of commuting hours. So there's like ample time to kind of set up your easel, paint it. You're doing all your poses and so on and so forth. And are you facing the house, Francoise, or are you pointing away? Or...
I don't want it to see the picture in case it's judgmental over the quality of the art, because I'm a photographer, not an artist.
Okay, so the
So,
people
I have
first in
an
view
idea.
will be the others, right?
Yeah. But I want to be clearly visible with the easel
Yeah.
to the house. But I'm going to put a beret on as well, and I don't want to like have the same clothes on as when I visited the house. I don't want him to sort of go, oh, that's that woman the other day. Doesn't matter if it does recognize me, because clearly I was into art. But I'd like it to. I'm not disguising myself, but I'm actually going to dress myself more bohemian in order to fit the profile of an artist in my mind.
Okay. Can you make me either a persuade roll, a art roll? Though, assuming you haven't got that, I don't think you do.
I've got art craft photography.
You do have photography. I could accept that with a harder success or a disguise roll.
Okay, well. Oh, shit.
She's not feeling so bohemian like you.
I basically have gone out with a T-shirt saying, I am Francoise Pelletier. I visited the other day.
Okay. Was there a critical fail?
No, it was 90, though. There's no luck that's going to save that roll.
Okay. All right. So eventually, somebody kind of carefully opens the door of the Shipley residence, and it's a man, none that you've seen before. He's got kind of quite a big sort of hand on the stash, and says, I say, gentlemen, madam, can I help you?
You are Oh, perfect. Could I ask you to stand here? Would you be willing? Have you ever had a portrait taken?
What are you doing exactly?
I am painting. These are my models. Would you like to be a model? I could make you famous. I'm not famous, but not the point.
Do you have credentials for being here?
It is a street. Had you not noticed?
It is. That is true, madam. I don't recognize you in the artistic field. Who are you exactly?
What do you mean?
Well, I'm interested myself in art.
You are?
Yes,
Oh.
of course I am. Why would I be asking?
Well, I am an artist, obviously. I mean, I could just be walking
French?
around with an easel because I'm crazy and insane. Or maybe I'm an artist.
And you're using this house as a backdrop, are you?
Well, the street, it has a nice ambience. I thought the contrast of the men with the guns would be an interesting statement.
He sort of looks back up at the kind of
Can you
state of
not-
the house and
Can you not see, these men are men of war. They have been fighting, but they come home to the home front, and it is a normal London street. You see how the beauty of the statement and what that means? It's you right here.
Yes, absolutely. Although my son may have something to say about that, given he's an artist himself. Interesting using the house as your backdrop.
Not this house, just the street. When I was here the other day, I saw this street and I thought, oh, it is so quintessential to the home front that it could be such a powerful massage. You have these soldiers who have returned and they are now in their civilian clothes, but holding their guns, of course, because the statement, the message I want to impart through the canvas, how can this not speak to someone who has suffered from the violence at the front line?
It is an interesting message you're trying to convey, madam. Perhaps my son could work with you on something. Would you be interested in a collaboration? Do you mind if I see your art?
I am only just
Kind of
sketching out
comes
the
out.
outlines at the moment, It's not been there long. It is just starting, but you can see some pencil marks.
As he still kind of comes over anyway, and especially the three of you who are modeling, you can really smell this sort of, well, reptilian smell as he comes over. Yes, I see what you're saying. It's early days.
Well, of course. How fast do you expect me to work?
I'm not expecting anything of you, madam. I'm just asking. My son is quite a prestigious artist.
I know.
Oh, you know him.
Yes, like I said, I was here the other day to see him. I have some of his paintings.
So, what makes you think you can just come to this street and start painting people?
These people agreed to be painted. The street is a street.
Yes, but it does seem a little odd.
How so? I
Not
saw it.
just
I thought how perfect a backdrop it is. I decided to paint it.
Not just a coincidence.
The irony that it is an artist's house is just a giggle for me. But it is a street. It is quintessential to the working class. I hope that's not too insulting. But the ordinary working people.
He sort of like ruffles his mustache a little bit. Can you give me either a charm roll if you're going that direction, or you can give me another photography roll, but again it's gonna be a harder.
They're exactly the same skill level. So, how would an extreme pass sound for both
For
of
which
those?
one?
Both.
Would
Choose one.
sound very Egyptian.
Choose one of them.
I think I'm going to take the artist approach.
So the photography.
Yeah.
Okay. Cute.
Can you not see the scene and how beautiful it is?
He does light up. He does seem to understand what you mean by that. And he says, well, I'm assuming you've been out here for a couple of hours. Would you like some tea? You must be thirsty.
Yes, let us all take a break, shall we? Should we go in and have a cup of tea? I mean...
Yes, of course. I must apologize. My son is not here at the moment, but I'm sure he'll be back soon. I would love for you to meet him.
I have met him.
Well, meet him properly. Sometimes he is quite into his musings.
Yes, of course.
My name is Cotting, Arthur Cotting, by the way, and he holds out his hand to you.
Interesting that your son has a different last name.
Yes, well, his mother was called Shipley, and she kept her name, but unfortunately, she's died.
So, yes, let us have tea.
Yes, why don't we? And
best bring the guns in, because you cannot leave them on the street. Someone will take them. It is a firearm, after all.
Yes, absolutely. So he's a bit tentative by that point, obviously noticing the guns, but yeah, he allows you all into his establishment.
So, what manner of creature has that smell? It is quite potent.
Oh,
you keep a lizard?
Oh, my apologies. I honestly don't smell it anymore. It's been lingering here so long, but yes, other people have said the same. It's simply there was a problem with some water snakes. There is a tributary near here that goes into the Thames, and there was a load of snakes that escaped through there. So there's a bit of a smell that comes up here.
Oh, I see. Well, Mr. Cottage, was it?
A Cotting.
Cotting. Sorry, these unusual names for someone like myself.
I realise you're not from round here, man.
No, I am from a civilization.
You don't know much about London, then, and what it has achieved?
Yeah,
what it will achieve later?
It is a city that smells of reptiles.
Oh, no, I assure you, it's just this house and a few others further along. It is an unfortunate issue that we have to deal with.
A few others?
A few other houses, yes. That, like I said, there's a tributary near here. There are lots of snakes that escaped through there.
So there are other crocodile men who live here on this street?
I beg your pardon?
It's the crocodile men. I thought the painting of the portal was not complete.
I don't quite understand what you mean exactly.
I suspect
a crocodile men portal?
Yes, the crocodile man portal. How is that not making sense? Do you want it in French?
Or would you like to make me psychology, Francoise? And anybody else? Actually.
What? Sorry, what was that?
Psychology. See how he reacts to Francois' incredibly unsubtle questioning.
Oh, yeah, so I just want to confirm.
Missed it by 50.
Wow. I got 25 out of 40.
Okay, yeah, regular pass.
I rolled 99.
You don't sense anything.
I have no idea. In fact, I think he's enjoying the entire conversation. He probably would have preferred it with a little bit of Egyptian, but he's enjoying the conversation nonetheless.
Okay. What did you get, Francoise?
I just missed it.
Okay. So, yeah, Arthur, you definitely think that he knows something about what Francoise is saying. But just like you, he is quite dumbfounded and doesn't really know how to react to it.
But I've got to keep and I haven't sensed this, so I need to keep pressing for something because I need to just make absolutely sure we're not about to murder an innocent person, although I'm 95% sure it's the lizard. So, with the whole Doug Pharaoh and the gate to from Relay, how is that not something you know? You're in this house, are you not?
Well, there is a. Do you mean the Dark Pharaoh painting that Miles has done? Because I know a little about what he's done. I can show it to you if you want.
No, I haven't
seen it already. You bought it. Are you not happy with it? Do you not like it?
It is a fantastic painting of the Dark Pharaoh, which, as you know, is a myth of cultists in Egypt, and it is all about the lizard men who want to come through the portal, and they eat people every week. Do you not know that? How do you not know that?
I know that my son gets a lot of inspiration from dreams that he has.
I mean, frankly, the only thing I haven't put together yet is whether you are connected to the Chinese dragon thing in New York. Maybe it is a cousin of yours, maybe not. I don't know. I mean, monsters are monsters. Who knows?
He actually turns to the rest of you and says, is your friend quite all right?
Yeah, she's just angry sometimes.
Just a very, very frustrated artist. Just very, very frustrated.
Well, like I said, Miles should be along soon, although I'm surprised he's not back yet. Perhaps...
Of course not. We screwed away to a safe place so that you cannot get to him. He's not coming back, you fool.
He turns back to you three again and says, what is she talking about?
I'd be damned if I knew.
I thought you were the one that had the best idea of all three of us. Winston, I don't really don't know, but
in absolute honesty, I lost the conversation about 3 sentences before we entered.
It is quite simple. I am directly accusing this man who claims to be Shipley's father of being the lizard man who wants to come bring his friend through the portal, and I'm accusing him of eating humans every week.
Oh,
you're accusing me of what?
And you make the drug in the basement that you give to Shipley.
I'll snap the shotgun closed and point it at him and say, why don't you tell the young lady what she wants to know?
Okay, give me an intimidation roll for that.
What the fuck?
Does he get a bonus for the fact that he's intimidating with a big shotgun?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Okay, so that's a 12, which is that's a hard success.
Okay.
It's 4 off extreme.
4 off an extreme or 4...
4 off extreme. It's a hard success.
Okay. Okay. So he still looks quite poker faced about this. He's not like he doesn't. He just put his hands up and kind of questions you and says, "Sir, what are you doing?" But he's not really giving in to what you're saying just yet. You think maybe if you press him a bit more, he might.
I'm taking my shotgun and pointing it at him.
Uh-huh.
I'm just not saying anything, just to reinforce what Perry just said.
I bring out my revolver and point it at him.
Okay.
And essentially look at him and say, I think this is what is referred to as a chorus of disapproval.
We think you do know what she's talking about. I'll suggest you answer her.
What is this? An ambush? A takedown? You're going to shoot me in my own house?
Well,
Quite likely,
technically,
yes.
it's not an ambush. An ambush happens when you don't see it coming. I assure you, you're going to see these coming from a long way away, or quite short distance, actually.
We're standing outside with shotguns, and you invited us in.
Exactly.
Was it not a beautiful plan?
The biggest suicidal ambush ever.
Okay, can the three of you make me another intimidation roll, please?
Intimidation.
I missed that one.
Oh, fuck. Sorry.
Oh, I should
Just
also pick
missed.
up the shotgun that they brought for me, because they brought an extra gun for me, didn't they? So I'm going to
True.
grab
Yeah,
that
okay,
now as well.
Yep.
Regular for me.
Just missed.
So I'll also add my intimidate and just miss that too.
Anybody passed?
Yes, I
Oh.
did. That's a regular for me.
Oh, regular. Okay. Okay, so you see him kind of flinching a bit when more guns start coming out. And you actually see, like, firstly, this kind of sweat going down his temples, but you just see, like, bits of his neck and his hand start turning a bit to scales before quickly reverting back again to sort of regular human skin. And
So-
say, I don't know what this is about. You've got the wrong man.
We actually haven't, and the only question is, are you related to the creature in New York?
What creature?
Listen, let's make this abundantly clear. You actually made a statement there that was not factually accurate. You said that we have got the wrong man. That was factually inaccurate.
Okay. Winston, can you make me a power roll, please?
Really don't want to. Oh God! I rolled bang on it.
Bang on
55.
regular pass?
Yeah, I rolled 55. I've got 55 and I rolled 55.
Okay. You kind of feel it coming before it happens. But you suddenly, it's almost like someone's kind of grabbed your head a bit and kind of gone inside and started rummaging with everything. And you hear this almost serpentine voice say, "Are you sure it is accurate? Maybe you are completely inaccurate. Maybe you should leave."
Oh, I have
And do you
faith.
feel like you have to do that for this thing to go away?
Noise in my head.
Alright. I think I'll shoot the fucker.
You shoot the fucker. Okay, you are in point blank range.
With a shotgun. Everyone get out of the way.
Yep. Make me a roll. He hasn't got time to dodge because he's doing something to Winston.
That's a 20. No, that's a 30 out of 25. So I spend 5 luck for it to be a regular pass.
Okay.
You should recall me the damage though, because I haven't written it
yeah,
on
I
this
can do.
sheet.
I did write it down. It is at this range 2d6 plus 2.
Okay. However, I think
And
there
it
is
is-
something about point blank range. You might get.
I think
something
point blank
else.
range is double your.
I should
not
just
double
get
your
a
skill
bonus.
for.
Check.
And also,
Point blank is a bonus die on the attack roll.
Okay.
And
Still,
also,
the damage is.
you can empty both barrels at once. It's attacks 1 to 2. Because you've got 2 triggers, you can pull them both.
Wow.
If you want to check it, Jason, then I may roll again.
Yeah, point blank. I just found something about. Oh, okay. Optional hit locations. It says about something to do with. It doesn't count for shotguns, but I think that's maybe a optional rule. So, 0.113. Yes. Yes, it is a bonus die. So within a fifth of the shooter's dex in feet, which yes, you definitely are. You may be targeted by melee, could be disarmed, but yeah, it's basically a bonus die for the attack.
So do I roll again with the bonus die?
Yeah. If you might as well, because if you get extreme, you can get like so much damage.
All right. Nope.
Okay.
All right. So it's a regular pass. Either
Okay.
way.
What was it, babe? 2d6 plus 2?
It is, yeah.
Twice.
Okay.
So
That's
it
for one
is
barrel.
That's an 8.
For 2d6 plus 2. Okay.
Yes. 3, 3, and 2.
Okay, so you shoot him in a nice vulnerable spot, I'll say his stomach. He actually kind of propels back into the sort of cupboards and sink behind him. He's still alive, and he kind of tries staggering to his feet, but he is very badly wounded. Let me just roll something quickly. Okay, yeah, he doesn't go unconscious by that, but yeah, he is very badly wounded. You suddenly start seeing more of his skin start changing to scales, and you hear kind of that cracking, which Francoise you will remember from last time. Very familiar sounding. Snout starts growing, etc. as you're doing that. So let's go quickly into initiative, although it may not take long. So I believe, going back to my original notes.
I believe this guy is toast.
Oh yeah, quite possibly. But I'm still gonna put initiative. Here we go. So, we have got. Oh, I didn't put it down there. Right. Can I have your dex scores, please? Just remind me.
50.
Yeah, mine. 70.
Mine's 70.
65.
Okay, cool. 75. Okay, so let's say because he's been shot already, Perry and Arthur, you get to go
All right.
at this point.
Steal the bonus die again. Is that correct?
You are going to need time to reload with the shotgun potentially, unless
He only
did you
used
do
one barrel.
one barrel? Okay. In that case, yeah, you've got another barrel.
All right.
Are we killing it, or do we want?
We're killing it.
We're,
I
That's what we came here to do.
we are here to kill it to death.
Kill it to death.
I don't know if that's enough. Maybe we should kill it more than that.
Yeah. We'd like to massacre it to death.
Oh my god.
Genocide?
Genocide it to that's what we want.
I missed, Jason.
Okay, so you kind of cause this big bludgeoning hole in one of the cupboards nearby. It's still changing shape, you think? The tail starts kind of protruding out. It'll take a bit longer for it to kind of reach its full form. What are you doing, Perry? You have your gun ready?
Shoot it.
I still find it surprising that Arthur missed it.
Yeah.
Point blank range. Okay, I'll shoot it.
Okay, make it roll.
Maybe he shot at a bit that polymorphed where
Both
the bullets
barrels.
passed through. You know.
Both barrels. Just lay into it now.
Both barrels. Okay, so that is a hit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you want me to roll for both barrels, both two rolls, or just the one?
Yeah.
And that is a hit.
Okay. I'm assuming that's killed him. Roll your damage.
2d6 plus 2. So that's 6 and 10.
Okay, describe how you utterly decimate this creature. Is it almost kind of comes into its full form, but you just hit him a few more times in its chest, in its head.
Yeah, as the splinters blow past from Arthur's miss, I raise the barrels up and just bam, it just blows his head back across the cabinets.
Okay. Okay, so your shots kind of ring round this kitchen area. It suddenly dawns on you, has anybody heard that? But you don't hear any kind of shouting or reactions or anything from neighbours yet, certainly.
I gotta say, we've just 2 independent shots came out from one shotgun. A double barrel did both barrels at once. If they haven't heard it, they're fucking deaf.
Or they might.
Yeah, well, they might have heard it, but not identified it as a shotgun.
Yeah.
As somebody shooting.
Hopefully they think it's a backfire from a car.
I mean, how many people would have heard a shotgun in London?
Also
Well,
that.
you're on a residential street, but again, plenty of people on this street go to work every day, so they might just not be here.
I was kind of hoping we could have forced him into the cellar before we shot him, but
We need to go to cellar. We need to get the drugs for Shipley. Also, there is something to destroy in the attic, and I will go up to the attic. I'm going to find the big canvas. I don't particularly want to look at it, but I do want to chuck paint all over it.
Okay.
take it out into the back garden and set it alight.
No, I'm just going to throw paint all over it. There's plenty of paint in here. That'll destroy it.
Okay. Anything else that you want?
Or
to
white
do?
spirits.
Yeah, white spirits or something. Just you know.
Yeah.
I will follow Francoise upstairs and I will say to her, this is where Shipley went to get the drug.
Okay. But, yeah, I will pour all the white spirits that are in here. Presumably there's plenty because he's an artist. Just all over the big canvas.
Okay. So there's a few more kind of paintings that are just sort of there may be a third done. You're not really sure what they are yet. He's kind of done the background. So yeah, you kind of pour the stuff on there.
No, it's the big canvas. He said there was a big one.
Well, there isn't really a big canvas per se, from what you can see in the immediate vicinity. However, there is plenty of sort of bedrooms on the floor below you. So basically, the garret is on like the top floor. There is also a closet that you haven't looked in yet.
Yeah, look in there.
Let's go canvas hunting.
So the closet is locked, or the cupboard is locked. But you think it might hold a canvas, given its size. It's quite big. More like
Part of the gun. After that hurts, I get Perry to do it.
Yes, give me a strength roll.
Strength is... Oh, yes, 5. So that's an extreme pass.
Yeah, so you get it cleanly off. Yes. So basically, there's a dirty sheet that's covering quite a big easel and canvas. So presumably, do you take it off? Or?
Hang on. Lift up a corner, white spirit that. Lift up another corner, white spirit that. Then we'll do the top corners. don't want to look at it because he did say it was like it was the whole. He said like looking at it would cause mental issues, and I
Give
don't
me a
think
look roll, Francoise.
because I don't know if we particularly want to see what's on there. A luck roll.
A luck roll, yeah.
I do
No.
believe you're going to say shit.
I failed. I've seen something, I assume.
Yeah, because it's a good idea to kind of lift a bit, but the thing is, it's half finished, and it's difficult really to ascertain where to kind of put the paint without seeing something. And you do manage to see something. Can you make me a sanity roll, please?
Pass.
Okay, so you don't lose any sanity points officially from this, but basically, it appears to be something to do with an altar. There is definitely kind of a serpentine vibe about this, but again, it is half finished, so you don't really know exactly what's happening here. But it's very unsettling, and the thing that gets you the most is that it's almost like the paint starts being very fluid in front of you. And just while you're kind of holding it back and you can't help but see that. Perry, can you give me an insanity roll as well, please?
Yes. I failed.
Okay, so you lose one from this. Basically, you kind of do a double take at this and you blink, and then just for a minute it starts kind of wavering around this paint, and almost something kind of tries to bulge through, but then it stops. And your heart is kind of racing from this.
Something was trying to come through. Then it was nearly made it.
Let's see it get through wet spirit.
Any further than
Chuck it all over. Pour the bottles down. Just trash the thing.
Yeah. So you both do that perfectly fine. Am I right that somebody wanted to go to the basement as well?
Can I just take a boat after Francoise has done that and cut the canvas?
Yeah, I'm
Take
going
what,
to
sorry?
the basement.
Slash it down. Plus, take the boat.
Yeah, we need to get the drugs. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So basically, there's lots and lots of junk in here. So you kind of have to rummage through a bit. Where's that map gone? Oh yeah. Okay. There's a few shelves that covers a wall. There's a few sort of jars, but nothing particularly drug-ish that you can see. However, can you make me spot hidden as you're kind of searching around and rummaging around all the bric-a-brac in here?
I failed that.
A regular pass for me.
Okay.
Oh, 00.
That's
100.
That's 100.
That's really bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got white spirit in my eye, I think. I've got my eye under the tap. Ah!
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So Arthur, whilst you hear screaming from upstairs from Francoise as she's trying to get this paint out of her eyes, you notice you feel around the walls and you notice that there is definitely a secret door or opening of some kind which you managed to push open into another room, which obviously was concealed from everything else. And yeah, you kind of go into another room where there are more shelves of. They seem to have jars filled with kind of dark substances. There's a few others that are kind of dotted around that are inscribed with mystic symbols. There's also a bath-like stone tub covered with a large sheet of metal in here. There's also, by the way, a massive aroma of snake, reptile, etc. in here. Like it's really quite pungent.
Well, that's utterly disgusting, but I don't have any idea what any of these jars are. So, or we get something. Hopefully, it will
Perry
help.
saw him take it. Maybe Perry knows.
Is this down in the basement or is this upstairs?
This is in the basement. So this is in like a secret room
Okay. Oh, I'm
that
upstairs.
Arthur uncovered. You what? Sorry.
Aren't we upstairs still?
Okay.
Francoise myself.
But we'll come down eventually, so at some point.
Okay, when will you? Okay, we'll do. So, what role do you want for that? Sorry. Natural role.
It's not a roll, it is a. Didn't you see him take the drug? Do you recognize which one this could be?
Oh, that's upstairs, though.
Yeah, I mean these don't look like the thing he was taking necessarily. I know that somebody here has pharmacy as a skill, but I don't believe it's anybody who's in the room at the time.
I have
I do
chemistry.
have pharmacy.
Or chemistry, yeah, chemistry or pharmacy. Oh, you
I
do have
did
pharmacy, okay, yeah.
and biology.
Make me a pharmacy roll then.
I say it sure sounds like me.
34
Oh.
out of 35.
I have extreme success to chemistry.
Yeah.
No, it's extreme. Like I rolled 03. I'm going to the both extremes here.
So you can, yeah, you kind of stagger in with a kind of a dirty towel, I guess. And you immediately point and go, yes, those are ingredients for the drug. Like, it's really...
Obviously, Edward, I didn't need to roll for that.
Like, you can kind of smell them, and you give them a little kind of shake in the jars. But yeah, definitely, you both kind of deduce that they are definitely ingredients for the plutonium drug. You can't identify absolutely everything, but there's definitely stuff like acetic acid, mercury, pyridine, other weird stuff in there. Some ingredients, both of you kind of look at each other and think, what the fuck are these? Like, they're nothing at all like you've seen, nothing even remotely related to anything on the periodic table. It's really quite worrying that it's almost like they're not of this world at all.
So, do we find any drug in the finished state? Or can we
Not-
figure out how to make it from these ingredients?
Although Perry did say that that was upstairs, potentially.
So we have a look upstairs.
Yeah, because he stopped on the way down when I was taking him out. He stopped on the way down on a landing and went into one of the bedrooms. So I can go, because that's what I said when we went up. He went in there, drugs.
Show us. We must find it. Olga, we must find
Yeah,
this drug.
so let's say that Perry's kind of rooting up there. Then you do manage to find a small extract of the finished plutonium drug. Well, you presumably that's what it is. You think?
Okay.
When we take it, you'll know what it looks like.
Okay. Let's take the ingredients too.
Anything else you want to look at, like the stone tub, for example, or anything else in this heist?
Sure.
We'll kick the tub first and see if there's any noise inside.
You'll kick it. Okay. Maybe a strength roll for that, actually.
Oh God!
Let's see if you know your own strength or not.
Has the voice in my head actually gone, so I can actually go back in the house?
Yes, sorry, absolutely. It's basically as soon as the creature dies, yes, you kind of...
Right, I can head back in then and help with the search.
I'm so sorry, I completely forgot about that.
I thought you were here. I would have belittled you had I known you'd walked outside.
That's a normal pass.
What can I say? I was hiding in the Egyptian room. I didn't think you'd find me there.
No, I'm getting tired too. Okay, so regular pass. So yeah, you can't kick it, and there's like a bong sound from the porcelain. But there's like this metal lid, like I said, on top, and it just kind of moves a little bit from the kick, from the force of the kick, and you just smell this rotting meat. It's quite sickening.
That will be human remains.
In fact, give me a constitution roll, Perry.
44. So, that's not quite an extreme.
Okay, so this makes you feel quite queasy given you're close to it. you always kind of have to turn away and retch because the smell is so pungent and strong.
I'm going outside for fresh air into the back garden. Ugh.
And the rest of you will see him kind of throw up.
I'm going to put the lid back on properly, secure it back on, do the whole Catholic cross, and then leave the room, because I'm pretty sure that's human remains.
Okay.
Is the thing in the kitchen? Is it all looking scaly now?
Yeah. It's kind of, you think it's in its original form now. This kind of crocodilian snout, scales, tail, etc. But it's very much shot up.
Yeah, I was a little worried about us shooting this damn thing and then finding it reverted to human form, and then we had to, having to deal with having to deal with the police. And can you explain why you brutally shot the nice old gentleman?
Okay.
If anyone asks, it ate the old gentleman, and that's why we started firing.
Are we taking away any of the smaller paintings?
No, it is still chez Plison. He will come back to this. But we'll leave the mess for him, frankly. I don't want to clean that up.
So you're gonna try and let an insane person out of an asylum to only come
He's not
back,
insane.
find this corpse, and potentially go back inside from the site of it.
He's not insane.
Yet.
I'm just saying.
We're going to introduce him to shock and horror in small.
Perhaps the neighbors will have moaned about the smell by then, and they can deal with it. Either way, we just committed not a crime. It is a crocodile. We're all clear. Let us go. We got a small amount of the drug. We'll go straight to the asylum and give it him.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So you have like another sort of look around, but there's not really much else that you find that's relevant. It's all pretty messy in here. But yeah, you can head back to the asylum and visit him.
We've got the ingredients, and we've got the actual sample of the finished one.
Yes.
Yeah.
In terms of how to actually make the drug, you have no idea. You just got like raw ingredients in these jars. But yeah, so when he sees that, he obviously recognizes the finished product. He immediately reaches out for it.
I was thinking actually we should give it to the doctor first.
Oh, okay.
So I'll give it to the doctor. I said, this is the drug. These are the ingredients. I have no idea how to make it, but that is what it is made from. There is the drug.
Smells like mercury.
It has all sorts of foul things in, but it is what he's been taking. It is what he's addicted to.
Oh my god.
Yes, mercury will do lots of funny things, so you'd be mad as that actor, quite literally. That is what drove that actor's mad.
He's sort of smelling other bit. Well, I'm not surprised in the way he's behaving. Maybe some laudanum will calm him down.
So you bring him back from the brink. Here is everything you need.
Yes, well, this is my job. This is what we do.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. But that is all there is of the finished thing. No more exists. No more will come.
Well. And he's obviously kind of annoyed with you, but you can see he's deep down, he's sort of thankful that you've helped him. But he kind of takes... are you giving him like all the jars?
Yeah, we don't need it.
Okay. I'm just asking.
Well, it's... Yeah. I wasn't trying to say that bitchily. I was kind of justifying. We don't need to, I don't think.
No, I mean, maybe it might be worth maybe keeping a sample. Well, I'm thinking with so many things that have we've found sort of similarities in things. Maybe this won't be the only example of somebody hooked on God knows what. Might be worth having just a little vial, just
We only
as a
have
comparison.
a small amount of the finished thing anyway, and I think our artist friend's going to need all of that and more.
In that case, take a note. We take a note of the ingredients.
I don't think we know what they are, do we?
There's a couple of
if we
things here
can.
that are not of this earth.
You've
If-
ascertained a few of the ingredients, but some of them I don't think you'll ever find out because they're just nothing like you've ever seen before.
They're from the world of the snake people. Don't think they are open to a telegram.
And then actually, if we do know what the ingredients are and how actually to make it, is something completely different.
Oui.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Quick question for you, Ronnie, because I know that you're getting tired. Do you mind if we
Yeah.
do it in a few minutes, or do you need to kind of
We could go for a few minutes more, but after that, I'm running.
just a few minutes?
Busting for a beat, but okay.
Okay. Just to kind of leave it on a bit of an exciting cliffhanger. So, I believe you wanted to see Ms. Shafik once you'd vacated the premises.
Well, to be honest, I was most interested in finding out more about how to kill the thing that we have just killed. So at this point, I don't know if there's much to gain, but at the same time, she could be a high priestess, so I go with the painting.
Cool. Okay. Presumably it's the Blue Pyramid Club, yeah?
Oui.
Yeah. Okay. So you do that. It's getting around. It's maybe just before opening time, I'll say. So nearly 6 o'clock. You get there a little bit early. There's some people there, you think, inside. But after you've explained that you're after, I'm assuming, by the way, that you ask for her specifically. Yeah. In which case, one of the officials says, "Oh yes, she is expecting you. Do come through."
Ah,
Well, yes, you said to her that you were coming back with some paintings.
I did, yes.
So she seems to have already got a private room prepared. Again, even though it's before opening time, but she kind of gestures you in and says, thank you for returning. I'm pleased to see you again."
Yes, I bought the painting. I bought the first one. Sorry, I did not bring them all. I did not know you wanted to see everything, but I bought this one. This is though like your books. When you read them and you go mad, but this is the same. You look at it, you go mad. It is your choice. But
My
it
God,
is at the moment.
Sat down and you're already into this.
At the moment,
notion of going mad.
At the moment, it is behind the canvas is behind the cloth, as you see. But when it peels this back, there is no going back. You cannot unsee it.
Yes, I see. So she has a little look at it. She kind of keeps a straight face. You don't think she's really phased in a kind of terrified way at all. In fact, she's quite interested in it. She says, "Yes, I mean, I'm not an artist at all myself, but yes, I see there's some nice connotations here, good perspective, I suppose you would say." But and she kind of turns back towards the door. I think maybe to check if anyone's walking on, and she kind of pushes it shut and says, Did you attend Mr. Gavigan's meeting earlier? I know that you were going to see him."
My friends did, but I did not. I was dealing with a crocodile man in Chelsea.
Of course you were, but that might well have been for the best. You see, I must apologize, but I do have a confession to make about Mr. Gavigan. I couldn't really tell you in the midst of the ballroom. People could have been listening. But with my limited knowledge, and he kind of sits back down, with my limited knowledge of who he is, and of course, bear in mind, this is not my main job working for him. I own my own business, but he's not someone you want to cross.
I know somebody tried to shoot him here in this club. Did he cross you?
Oh, you know about that? That's interesting. No, it wasn't me. I don't know exactly who it was, but yes, someone did indeed come in here. I'd only been going to the Pyramid Club for a year or so when this happened. It was very shocking. Some man came in and almost pointed him out and then attempted to shoot at him. Fortunately, he didn't hit anybody, especially Gavigan. He was quite quickly apprehended afterwards. But no, more than that. This brotherhood that you were talking about, whilst some of what you're saying I really don't believe, truthfully speaking, and again I apologize for deceiving you, truthfully I believe that the brotherhood does still exist, and I believe that Gavigan has some part in it.
What makes you think that? I still have not worked out if Gavigan is either working for this brotherhood or against the Dark Pharaoh. I am not sure what side he is on.
I don't know exactly what his part is either, but especially recently he's been behaving, dare I say, suspiciously. He does have occasional errands elsewhere, out of London, but he's been doing that more frequently recently, especially going by car, which is very unlike him.
He works everywhere.
Well, exactly. Yes. He sometimes takes the train to Derby, but no, he goes by car with a few others I noticed from the Foundation, maybe twice a month or so. In fact, if he's still going by timing, it should be coming up fairly soon if he's doing that. And I've noticed him bringing in, again, I don't know what they are, but larger artifacts into the building, but he keeps them hidden. He doesn't put them in the usual exhibition hall. I don't know what he does with them. I presume they're still in storage. Every time I've tried to go down there, somebody kind of comes along. They've seen me, so I can't really get anywhere near the lower floor. But there is definitely a few things down there, and
I see.
I've seen him talk with people that he has a little bit of a fanaticism about him in the way he speaks to people sometimes, especially when he's having a bad day.
So it would not surprise. This is interesting because it has raised a new possibility that see, before I thought maybe Carlyle is alive and they are cult members, but now I'm thinking maybe this was a power grab of this institution by the cult. It is a possibility.
Interesting. Well, if you are intending to look into this further, then I can certainly try and be of help with that.
Please do. Dealing with cults is apparently what I do. This will be apparently my third.
Give me a persuasion charm, please.
I just packed up for the night. What with the whole dying to go to a pee. Okay. One dice roll plus his status coming right up. No. Where did it go? Oh, God, I need that one. Oh, standing up. Oh, no, squeezing the bladder. Oh, God, no, come back.
What the fuck is going
Oh,
on?
04. Extreme.
Okay, yeah. She lights up almost like you've done a deal with her. She gives you a card to her main establishment, which is called Empire Spices. It's not far from here. It's still in Soho. But she says, well, I'll certainly be of help as much as I can. And she shakes your hand. If you need anything further, don't hesitate to contact me. And she gives you a card. And
Merci.
I will end the session there. So feel free to leave.
All right.
Very good.
Excellent.
Oh, you Clara, so cute of you. Thank you. I hope you, I hope
Yes,
you enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was great.
I did.
Very quickly, all of you gain 4 sanity points for putting an end to Sathasa's plans by killing him.
We also gave you something that you weren't prepared for. So you
No.
should be grateful.
I mean, lots of stuff I've not been prepared for because you're going about things in an interesting way.
In a Becky
As I'm
way.
sure, as I'm sure Braden and other keepers might agree with.
We are using the Indiana. We are using the Indiana Jones technique.
Well, if he wanted to go pulp, he should have said.
No. The Indiana Jones technique, as he says in Raiders, when he's telling Salah, find us some sort of boat or plane or something. And I'm going after that truck. He says, "How?" I said, "I don't know. I'm making this up as I go," and that's been pretty much the session. We're making this up as we go.
Yes.
That's our grand strategy.
Yes. I mean, I would still, just as a general hint, I'd still definitely keep an eye on the cork board and read up some stuff. Just in case, because there are things in there that you might be missing, or might not be missing.
We missed a clue.
We have not missed any.
I don't mean right now, this minute, but I would definitely recommend doing that before next session. Just have another look and just double check things.
Okay.
Surely will.
So
Yes.
now we can tie into these murders of country.
But anyway, I'm going to end the broadcast. Thank you very much, Steve, for watching, and Braden later.
Yeah.
And we will see you next Monday.
Bye,
Excellent.
Steve. All right. See you on Saturday.
Au
Actually, so.
revoir.